Hi crafters and welcome back. So we are going to do a card today using this Untouched Landscapes. And I'm going to get out, oh, that one's bent. I'm going to get out a top fold card base. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And what we're going to do today, now I want to show you because I'm not going to be using that, but I'm going to show you how this stamped better. So here I did it on my glass board. Here I did it on my piercing mat. And where did I put my piercing mat? Oh, it's over here on my cutter. Hang on. All right. So here I did it with the piercing mat. Now, back in the day when we had both the clear mount or the red rubber stamps and the photopolymer, we always knew to use the piercing mat with our photopolymer. But now that we only have photopolymer with a few clear mounts that haven't been retired yet, we forget that we're supposed to be using this. Or you can use this to get you better stamping results. So you can see here the difference. Here I really pressed hard without the piercing mat. Here I did with the piercing mat. Same here. So you can see it does make a difference. All right, I'm going to do what we call a no layer card. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take just some of these sets, because out of all of these, my least favorite is this tree line. I think compared to the others, it just looks kind of artsy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the clouds and the mountain, the water, and this walking path. So we're just going to do a few of them. All right. So let's start off with our our clouds. I'm going to put them over here on the mat, and I'm going to get that right on the edge. So when I stamp down, it's so very close to the edge. All right. I'm going to take, I feel this time I want to use Pool Party. I want to use a lighter blue. So let's go ahead and use that Pool Party. You can see that my stamp is a little stained. I'll show you that example in a little bit, but it's a little bit stained because I did a rainbow card and I used red on my clouds. All right. So there we have that Pool Party. Now, I am going to have some edges here. That's all right. I'm going to go back in and we're going to color those edges at the end. All right. So now I want to go into the mountains. On this, I'm going to use this bigger one. Again, I'm going to kind of lay it out the way I want it to be. So kind of like that. And I'm putting this at the top of my card base. So when I come to stamp down, I'm going to try to line it up that way. I'm going to take Pecan Pie. Oh, I have hair on there too. I'm going to take Pecan Pie, but right near the top, I am going to put just a touch of Cajun Craze. Just a little touch of it. Now, hopefully I did that enough that it's not going to make a really big line, but we will see. All right, so I'm putting my block. So it's at the top of my card. And there we have those mountains. I'm going to leave this blank because that's where I'm going to put my words. And I don't know which word I'm going to use yet, but we'll figure that out here in a second. So let's go ahead So then I'm going to put my water next. I want to leave a pretty big area there. So there's my water. Again, I'm going to do Coastal Cabana. I'm going to put just a very fine line of that misty moonlight just on the very edge. Just to kind of give it that horizon look. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave enough for my greeting. And now I'm going to finish with my little field pathway. That's going to go right about there. And this one, I think I'm going to do mostly the green. But I think where that fence is, I'm going to try to get some of that pecan pie in there. See if I can do that. All right. Let's see how that will look. All right, I'm liking that. So now I'm going to take out phrases and frames. Again, we're not going to layer on this. We're not going to use the dies. We're just going to use the stamp sets. So I'm going to say, I'm going to do have a fabulous day down here. And I'm going to do, may your day be filled with love and happiness. Yeah, I think that looked good. So let me grab a different block for the have a fabulous day. We'll do that with Secret C. Let me get some of these stamps out of the way. They have to get cleaned off. And then let's go ahead and do this. Sorry for that loud noise. I'm going to leave that down for just a little bit. Let all of that ink soak into that paper. And I think I'm going to leave it like that. I have a mess over here. I think I'm going to leave it like that. Now you could take a dauber or a blending brush and do around the edges. You could take just an ink cube and just go a little bit angled like that. I don't think I want to do I want to do the top edge? Might as well for continuity. All right, and you could even bring in another color and just bring in some very light color to go on those edges. You're not really seeing that much on here. Just the lightest purple. You can see it a little bit here, just to kind of make that white just a little less stark. All right, so there you are. What do you think of that? All right, so I did quite a few others. I did get frustrated though while I was doing this. So here's the one we did yesterday while we were showing you the introduction to. So you can see my little smudges, the little where I had to go and press it in again. So I just mounted that so it was on a card. Here I took our two-tone cardstock because you know that has the white core. And so I stamped them on different colors of the two-tone, and then I ripped the edges to get that white so we had that separation. So it has that ripped paper look. You know, we had that designer series paper that was flat, but it looked like it was ripped like this. So kind of that same principle. Didn't put a greeting on any of these yet because I'm not sure what I'm going to use them for. This was a challenge. So I put all the stamps at once on my Stampin' Positioner and went through, but there were so much, because you had all of these stamps on there, it was pulling up my paper no matter what I did off the Positioner. So I eventually just took off my grid paper and I taped this down to the actual panel itself, because that is like a plastic or laminate or whatever you want to call it. So the tape does pull off, but it took a while. And then I went in with my finger daubers and my blending brushes and kind of smoothed out again that white part. But yeah, that was a challenge. I said a few words while I was making that for sure. All right. Well, there you are, guys. There are your cards with the Untouched Landscapes stamp set. It's a standalone stamp set. Go ahead and give me that thumbs up. Share on your social media or with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. Most of all, have a great Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.